Hey, do we look like we got somebody on? Dennis?
Yes, hello.
Hi, you kind of lucky you're the only one. If you have any questions, I think we had a little bit of issues of getting the URL out earlier. I'm filling in. My name's Bill. I'm filling in for Jared this week. So if you have any questions, it's just you and me right now.
Just you and
So maybe I'll be able to help you if you got a question.
Yeah. I'm sorry, what was your name again?
My name's Bill.
Oh, thanks. Yes. Well, I got a couple of different things here that might require some explanation, but one of them is I'm supporting a sales team that's running a promotional sales campaign in sales effort in 4 retail stores. And so we're going to be having leads that are coming into Salesforce that will be identified with one of these 4 stores by the name of the store. And we call these stores partners. And so we're using a partner object, a custom object. And we have a partner detail field, which is a lookup field to a whole bunch of stores all over the country, but there's 4 of them that we're running this pilot program in, and wanting to track the leads, obviously, and how successful the program is, and, you know, how many of them get converted and all that good stuff. So we thought a good way to do that would be to, as these leads come in and they're from these 4 stores, would be to set up a workflow to assign them to a campaign, although we're not tied to that, but it seems like a logical thing to do. However, because of my inexperience, well, I don't think we can do it in workflow because, you know, I can't see the campaign, how to add a campaign member or a lead onto a campaign in workflow. From the lead object when you start out with the lead object. And so I looked at Process Builder, and I didn't get far there either. I can't seem to get from, you know, you start out with selecting the object, in this case lead, and then you've got to have the right fields presented to you in the Process Builder to kind of make that connective tissue to get to add the leads onto the campaign, either as leads, as a related list, or as campaign members.
So how are these leads coming in? Through the web or imported, manually entered?
Yeah, I think they're going to be, well, we actually have a tool. Somebody built a Visualforce tool that the reps are going to use in the store, and that tool is going to create the leads right into Salesforce. So we'll have the leads. We'll be able to identify them. I guess we could run reports on them just, you know, based on the store.
Yeah.
But I'm wondering if there's a better way to set it up so that our marketing people can track the metrics on these leads, or is it just a simple matter of using reports, or am I over-engineering this by wanting to do a workflow to assign these leads to campaign, which seems really, really difficult to do in Salesforce? That was the initial thought.
If I was going to say why I was asking you where it came from. If you're using the web to lead form, which maybe the Visualforce, they might have used that, I'm not sure. You can actually put the campaign ID and member status into the web to lead form, and it will create the member to it. So if they're not using the web to lead and they're doing it all by like Apex code, they could do the same concept in the Apex, that just when it's submitted based off of the city, to enter the campaign ID and the member status of it. I am looking at the Process Builder. Yeah, I don't think you're going to be able to use. I think it would have to be in code. You might be able to use Flow instead. I don't know. Have you done anything with Flow yet? Process Flow?
I haven't used Flow yet.
Yeah, so in Flow, you could also do it. So what you could do is in Process Builder, you say the new lead comes in, and it meets the criteria. And then in Process Builder, you could trigger it to go to Flow. And from Flow, you would take the city or, the store name, whatever they entered it. You could do a lookup to the campaign object to say, okay, here's the campaign name that matches the store name, and return the ID. And then your next step in the flow would be, okay, now insert the campaign ID, to the lead. So you could also do it in Flow if you wanted to.
Okay, so Flow is like, can you explain Flow a little bit? Is it sort of like
so it's
used with Process Builder?
It's kind of an in between of workflow and Apex coding. So what you do is it's visual. It's drag and drop. And what you could do is there's multiple steps. You're building kind of a process flow, a workflow. But you're able to pass around variables throughout your flow. So you can do things like, okay, look up a record based off of my, lead ID. And you go to the next object and you insert the lead ID, into a criteria, and then it returns you whatever you need. Then you can go to your next step in the flow. It says, okay, now I got this next ID on this next object. Go down, and then you could update records, along, and it's kind of hard to explain without seeing it. I could post some, tutorial URLs if you want, but pretty much it's non-technical explanation. It's between workflow and Apex to get things done, where workflow kind of ends and Process Builder ends because, functionality just kind of stops, and you don't want to do code, you still want to do it yourself. That's when you go to Flow.
Okay, yeah. So I see in setup here the flow, and so I would click on New Flow and then just go from there. And then when I go into Process Builder later, I would see that flow as available.
So then the last step is, you have your criteria in Process Builder. You could choose Launch Flow, and you pass the variable. So when you choose that, it says, okay, what data do you want to send to your flow? So you could say, send the lead ID, so that way then your flow would know, okay, this is where I'm starting. I'm starting on this one lead, and now what am I doing? And again, I'm thinking out loud here, is you would do what they call record lookup, and you would say, okay, look up the campaign based off of store name, and then return me the campaign ID. And then you could go back to, campaign members to insert the lead ID to that right campaign.
Okay, I think I'm kind of sort of following. Basically, we got the campaign set up, so we've got that campaign ID, and so that would go into the flow. So I start with the Process Builder on the lead object, and then and then I have to create a flow and choose the flow. And the flow is going to do what piece of this again? And then there's going to be an
since, and as you found in workflow, you can't update the lead to the correct campaign. So what this is, flow you can. So in Process Builder, you're going to say, okay, it meets my criteria that it came from, a new lead came with that, whatever, populated. So what I would do then is from there you could send the variables, your data, to the flow. So you could send the lead ID and maybe the store name to the flow. And then in flow, you could do a record lookup, that's what they call it, to the campaign, saying where now I have my store name from the lead, and so I'm doing a lookup. So you'd say return me the campaign where store name equals either current campaign name, or if you make maybe a custom build on the campaign, that ties it to the store, just however you associate that together, then you get the campaign ID. Since you're going to have 4, you don't want to hard code the ID since you're going to have 4 different campaigns, and you may be more in the future. And then now you have your campaign ID. Your next step of the flow goes, okay, now update, and I think it would be the campaign member object to update it with your lead ID and the campaign ID and put whatever status you want. And then, now you have the association.
Okay, well, I'll have to go through that and probably watch some of the flow tutorials. It sounds complicated. What was that lookup you mentioned in the beginning of the flow?
Record lookup. They call it record lookup.
Okay. All right. Well, I may be back next week.
Okay. And if you do a search and you're looking for good tutorials, one of the other MVPs, I wish he was on the call today, his name is Brian Kwong. So if you search for Brian Kwong, Kwong, and then, and then the word flow or Salesforce flow, his whole website, majority of his tutorials are around flow. He's kind of the flow guru. So he'll have some good info on his website.
BRIAN KWONG? Yes.
Correct.
Okay, great.
Yeah, flow gets a little complicated at first, but if you kind of have that little technical brain of how to handle it, you'll pick up on it quick. It is different than the current tools out there, but it is more powerful.
Yeah, it looks like it's interesting how you got workflow that I'm familiar with, and then you've got process builder, which I just started to learn, and now there's this flow, and they seem like they're like 3 different things, like non-integrated.
Yeah, so workflow, process builder is going to kind of replace workflow. Workflow will always be there, but process builders was kind of the next generation of that. And then the flow has actually been around for a while. There's just never been a way to use it the way you can with process builder of just automatically starting it. Flow used to always be like, I have to click a button and then it starts off.
So are they going to integrate flow right into the process builder or keep it separate?
They're separate, but they work together. So they have 2 different, kind of ways to use them, but you can use them together now.
Okay, well, there goes my weekend. Thanks.
Sorry about that.
No, I'm just having been with doing Salesforce work for a year and a half. I'm always surprised how hard things are.
Have you?
I thought a process builder, boom, I get this thing done in 20 minutes. I'm adding a lead to a campaign. How hard can that be? But apparently,
yeah, I thought leads for the campaigns. Yeah, it's kind of, I don't know why they don't make it easier than they do.
Just amazing. Anyway, yeah.
I don't know if you've also seen yet. Have you seen or heard of Trailhead?
Yeah, that's on my list of things.
Okay, so there is a flow tutorial on that as well, and it talks about using it with Process Builder. So there's that one to maybe check out as well.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I haven't gotten to Trailhead yet. I'm aware of it.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. Any other questions, or are you good?
Well, I got another project. Actually, somebody else is working on this completely different thing, where leads will come in, be converted, and we're going to have opportunity created, or we want to have opportunity created. And then there's going to be 2 other entities associated with that opportunity that we want to automate. One would be a lender. So the opportunity would have sort of a lender associated with it, and it would have a tenant associated with it. So the opportunity would be maybe a shopping mall, and then there'd be a lender associated with that, and a tenant associated with that shopping mall opportunity. So what would be the best way to set that up? We were thinking about contact roles for the lender and the tenant ID. I don't know if you have any thoughts on sort of an architectural standpoint, how to kind of set that up on paper first.
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely use the opportunity contact roles if you're going the opportunity route, to track everybody involved. So, maybe give a little bit more detail. So you have the shopping mall. And can you kind of just go from there?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm not sure how much detail I can give you to have a.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah.
Yeah. We're just going to have leads, and then lead conversion contact gets created. We want to create a master account and a child account, so that's another challenge. And then the opportunity, and then automate the lender and the tenant onto the opportunity. I don't know what that would look like, related list or something, or I don't know. Yeah, I don't really know enough about the project to kind of.
So one thing I could kind of point out you said at the beginning. So when you convert the lead to an account, you also want a child account or a child contact.
Yeah, we want to create well, that's one thought, was creating a master account and a child account upon lead conversion. I'm not sure how hard that is.
Well, in Process Builder, you can now, when a record meets a criteria, you can create a new record not just, records. So you could actually say, okay, my new account's created, it meets this criteria. Now create a new account and stick the ID into the parent ID field.
Okay.
So that, I mean, I don't know your whole process you're looking for, but just a step there that you can actually automate that creation of a child account if you need to.
Would that require Flow as well, or no?
No, that you could do that in Process Builder.
Yeah. Okay. And then maybe, I guess, we set up contact roles for the lender and the tenant on the opportunity. Would that be the right thing to do?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, I'll pass that information along, and that's great. Thanks.
Okay. Yeah, and sorry again, there's not more people on this call. I think Jared, the normal person who does this, there was a confusion on the URL going out. So there'll be more MVPs on the next call. So if you have some more info on that.
Yeah, I don't know. This is sort of a very well hidden secret, this MVP, in terms of the URL getting out there on the internet.
Yeah.
It's like, for example, the email distribution list that I'm on, that I see Jared's, is his name Jared? Is that his name?
Jared, yeah.
Has a link that goes nowhere. There's no direct link to sign up, to register.
Okay.
Very odd. And so I have to, I need to do a better job tracking these. I think I got the URL now, but so every week is like this search, this internet.
Okay, yeah, I'll share that info. URL. I'll share that info with them.
I mean, this is a tremendous resource, especially when three of you show up. So, at any rate, it is.
I'll share that.
I'm not surprised. I'm the only one on the call. Based on the marketing effort. But at any rate.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay. Well, good luck. If I think of anything from our calls too, are you on the Success community at this time, Dennis? The Salesforce Success community?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I was on mute. Yeah, yes, I am.
Okay, so if I think of anything else, or if I something triggers me on that campaign thing that wait, this would be an easier way, I'll just post there to you, and I'll mention your name, so that you get notified. But that's just if I think of, all of a sudden something comes in my head.
Okay, sounds great.
Great. Well, have a good weekend.
You too.
Take care.
Bye-bye.